Hi and welcome to this OCAA Manna East and Durham, second in OCAA, first in the East. So top teams going at it here today as we're 2 minutes until tip-off. Durham won the OCAA against Humber last year, 67-61, and played Humber again in the CCAA finals and lost this time 76-70. So Durham's a very, very strong competitive team and very excited to see them as Algonquin beat La Cité 81-70 last week, and Durham beat Seneca 72-2. 3-0 or 2-0 will be decided in the next hour and a half, as both these teams have a lot of talent on their squad. And Texera had 16 points. So that's big numbers for Durham, for Algonquin, sorry. And for Durham, their big players are going to have to be Caleb Carter, who's averaging 15 points per game, as well as Jason Elliott, who's also averaging 8.5 points a game. So Elliott and Carter, both players for Durham, are going to have a big game today, as John Deo, who's averaging 15.5 points a game, is not playing here today. As the starting lineups for Durham: number 1, Caleb Oath, going up against Durham, who is going to come out in all stages of the game and play the best basketball you're going to see.
Well, certainly, Seth, and with that information, we can certainly see a similar game. Hopefully, Algonquin's able to find their footing. That's an impressive revamp of a team, a whole, essentially a clean roster.
100% Luke Owen, as we're getting set here, as the starting lineups are getting introduced for Algonquin, as we're going to be right back of the Blue Jays game as well during
OCAA.
And we will be right back very shortly. Tip-off is underway, and Algonquin running down real fast, right down the paint. As Jashawn Elliott was open there behind the three-point line and was out on Brown. It'll be Durham who remains possession. Can't finish.
Real opportunity there for Algonquin to gain some traction in the game so far, as another three goes up and it's missed.
Galani with another rebound. Peter Jokai sends it back to Brown. Brown guarded by Fahik. A lot of movement by Algonquin. Galani picks it up outside the three-point line. Sends it inside to Holder. Holder to Brown. Brown for the three. Off the rim, off the top of the backboard. It will be Durham who will take control here, as Peter Jokai subs off for Algonquin. Number 8, PJ Hawkshaw on the court, as Smith for Durham is off. And Deston Spencer on for Durham. Elliott for the three. Boom! Once again! Durham with another triple. Getting me to get a lot of boom calls early here.
Absolutely, yeah. They know you're listening, Seth. Finally, another layup here.
As PJ Hawkshaw makes his presence felt early. He knocks that one down, being aggressive in the paint. As Elliott driving around. driving around Hawkshaw and knocking that 2 points to fall for Algonquin. Hawkshaw with Fahik around them. Hawkshaw deciding where to go. He'll leave it for James Textera. Inside to Holder. He misses his layup. Fahik will move it up to Chambers, and Chambers lays it in.
We saw a very sneaky under the leg pass there from Durham to lead to a nice easy layup for them.
Brown.
Crazy coordination from the Lords here today.
Galani almost losing it. Galani gets around his defender. He will put it up, and that will be a foul against Durham. And Galani going to the free throw line. Galani, 21 points against La Cité, played the whole game, 40 minutes, 8 for 14 from the field. He was 3 for 3 from the line as he gets his first trip to the line here and knocks down his first one.
Nice easy basket for number 21.
Galani makes both free throws. He's 2 for 2 today. 14-5 is your score. 5 minutes left. Durham leading. Fahik gives it off to Carter. Carter back to Fahik. Fahik inside the paint. Loses it. Ball's bouncing everywhere. Fahik wins it back. But it's picked up by Textera. He's running down inside the paint. And he lays it in. And one! James Textera right to the basket, being very aggressive inside the paint.
Nice fortunate interception from there.
And he knocks down the and one. He's on the line. 16 points for him against La Cité. At the line, he was 3 for 4, his first trip. As we're seeing number 11, Jaden Generer, in the game for Durham. What a play from Textera.
And a nice easy bucket. As Durham goes on the offensive here.
Carter trying to get around Textera. Textera playing great defense. Holder with that. Turnover here. Galani pushes it up to Brown. Brown is able to catch it. He'll slow the game down. He'll cut inside the paint. Right outside the key. Galani outside the three-point line. Sends it to Brown. Brown with the screen from Galani. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Brown inside. Off the glass. Misses that one. Rebounded. Holder will take it. Holder driving to the basket. And he will go to free throw line. Rebound. Hackshaw was sending it. And he was able to find Holder, who will go to the free throw line. Holder 5 for 8 for a free throw last week against La Cité. And he drops it in. 1 for 1 here today. Getting ready to attempt his second shot as Algonquin is cutting down the lead here. And Holder makes his second one. That's 14-10 Durham. And in a matter of a couple of seconds, Algonquin cutting the lead down to 4 as Genereux maneuvering traffic. Carter takes it up beyond the three-point line. Galani with the nice steal. Textera running down. Outside to Brown. Brown inside off the glass.
And the rebound!
What a monster jam by the 6'7" Haven Holder. Able to get that one to fall. 14-12 timeout on the court. What a play, Owen.
Terrific new coordination for this brand new roster here, Seth. And an amazing play and terrific amount to get a rebound and just jam it right down the bucket. As we go into a timeout here. Unsure who's called by. You gotta imagine here, Seth, that the Wolves are refocusing a sort of strategy here to try to minimize their losses and try to get the lead and keep it.
100% as 30 seconds left in the timeout. As both these teams looking to continue their undefeated streak, as Durham's 2-0, Algonquin's 1-0. Owen, what are you liking so far? Very fast-paced basketball from both teams.
Extremely fast-paced game. Not a whole lot of stopping as we're seeing. Very minimal fouls called so far, but impressive performances, no doubt.
And right there, Owen, you saw a great dunk by Holder. He was able to put it back, and being that height and be able to put that back is incredible for Algonquin as they cut down the lead with a snap of the fingers, able to come out here and play some great defense as that ball gets deflected out of bounds, remains Durham's ball, as there will be 2 substitutions as Smith and Fahik back on the court. Carter subs off. And Chambers, as Algonquin playing just like the women's team, full court defense after they got some quick points. As Genereux moving it up past half court, defended by Texera. Texera playing good defense as we're seeing Nathaniel Richardson for the first time, as it was a foul against Algonquin. It will be inbounded below Algonquin's net here. It will be Smith who will inbound this one. He gets it inside to Spencer. Fahik trying to get around Texera. Texera not allowing him to. Smith guarded by Holder. Outside to Fahik. Driving down the paint. He lays it in. Nice play by Fahik as Brown with Genereux right on him. Brown, nice move to get around. He's driving in. He slows it down. Gets beyond the three-point line, outside to Texera. Texera driving in the paint. Holder will drive it in. He'll put it up, and it's blocked at the rim by Smith. And it will be Durham's ball. What a job by Holder, driving it inside, using his body and being aggressive. But Smith denying that entry and not allowing Holder to go trick-or-treating, and he steals the candy from him. And Durham, 16-12, 2:40 left here. They keep pushing on the offensive side. Genereux outside to Richardson. He misses it right off the rim. As Spencer not able to drop it in. Smith is the last one to touch that ball. Owen, what a play there by Smith, blocking Holder at the rim.
Terrific play. Also gotta shout out your amazing thematic commentary here as we keep it on theme with our Happy Halloween game here.
Travel is called against the Wolves, so they force a turnover. They're not able to get anything going there. And now Durham regains control here as they're looking to close out this first quarter with a lead. Fahik inside to Spencer. Fahik driving inside, sending off to Smith. Smith splitting the double team. Fahik outside to Genereux. Genereux driving down the lane, putting it up off the rim. Galani with the rebound. Texera moving it up. Galani, 10 rebounds against La Cité, 6 on the defensive boards. As Hackshaw misses that easy layup right off the glass. A little too much power there. Nice play inside to Smith. Smith getting the ball stolen from him. Last touch by Texera, but what a pick and roll play. You saw Smith coming for the screen. You saw Fahik go one side. Smith went off the screen, and Fahik gave him a nice bounce pass. And we see Peter Jokai subbing back on the court.
That's absolutely right, Seth.
As Holder sends it to Brown. Brown to Galani. Galani for three! Off target. As Spencer will lay it in for the easy layup. What a dime from Durham, able to find their open teammates. As there is an offensive foul against Holder. Holder battling out with Smith. Both of them going to go at it. Smith, 6'5", forward from Brampton. Holder, 6'7", forward from Ottawa. As there is some discussion what exactly happened, as you see the Durham players going to see their head coach there, Owen.
Yeah, unsure about what's happening there, Seth.
Both these teams going at it. Algonquin not agreeing with what was called. There was a technical foul called against James Texera as Fahik knocks down his one and only technical free throw attempt. 19-12, 127 left here. As there's a substitution here as Haven Holder subs off here for the Wolves as number 24 for Algonquin. Farouk McWeather as Durham misses that shot. That's Ray Farron. He misses that one. Brown to Galani. Galani back to Brown. Nice move getting around his defender. Peter Jokai to Galani. Galani putting it up and it's rejected. Durham playing very good on the defensive side. Inside. Richardson not able to drop it. Galani. As McWader. Nice spin move around. Around his defender. Fahik there. Texera driving in. Nice spin move. Inside the key. He'll drop it for two.
Just a gorgeous play from number 6 here. The Wolves can keep up that offense there, Seth. We can hope for a nice, slim victory as we approach 20 seconds left.
Fahik
quarter.
giving it to Farron, who gives it to Smith, and that would be a travel called against Smith. 18 seconds left. Algonquin, no shot clock activated, down by 5. Let's see if they can get another 2 points to fall before heading into the second quarter. Galani to Brown, almost went out of bounds. Brown's able to save it. Brown guarded by Farron. Brown pass half court, screened by Galani. Brown to Texera from way downtown. Boom, bang! Big three-point attempt as Durham from half court can't get it to fall. Owen, what a shot by James Texera, cutting down the lead by 2. We talked about it. They needed at least some points, and they're able to knock the lead. Only down by 2 here. Wolves are losing and trailing by 2, 19-17 Durham lead.
Absolutely, Seth, and it looks like an exciting game, very close game. We can only hope that the Wolves start to gain that lead when we come back into the second quarter in just under a minute 40. Folks at home, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more of your Algonquin College Wolves men's basketball game versus the Durham Lords.
As we're getting set to keep this game going. Second quarter underway. 19-17 Durham lead. Fahik taking it up for this Durham Lord squad, giving it up to Richardson. Richardson inside to Smith. Smith on Galani. Smith dropping it in over Galani. Brown. He has a lot of quick and he accelerates very fast as you see him driving down the lane, getting rejected at the rim by Chambers. Fahik will stop play, sending inside to Chambers. He loses it. It will be an offensive foul against Durham. But the last play, Owen, you saw a great job on the offensive side for Durham. They play full court defense and then they transfer over to the defensive side and then they get a block rejecting Brown at the rim. So their transition game is very good.
No doubt about it, Seth. And it's clear as day here, as you can see. They're really brutal on both offense and defense, like you're saying. Wolves going in now.
And that one drops for Textera. Still keeping the game very, very close in this first 1 minute in this second quarter as Fahik gives it off to Richardson. Richardson, nice move around Galani. He can't drop there as it will be a foul against, I do believe, Durham. Rashawn Chambers there. He got locked up, or it's against Algonquin against Jazim Peter Jokai. But Chambers and Peter Jokai got locked up. You know, their arms got locked up there, so it will be inbounds to Smith. Fahik outside to Richardson. Richardson in the paint. No basket, but it will be a foul called against Textera, and it will be Durham with 8 seconds remaining on the shot clock who will continue with this one. As you're seeing the fans in attendance giving a lot more noise, you know, a lot of them looking to continue cheering on their Wolves team as they did so much last year. As Fahik inside puts up the mid-range shot and misses that one. As it will be another foul called against the Wolves. 2 free throw attempts for number 24, Rudy Fahik, as he was 5 for 5 so far this year. As he makes his first one, Fahik makes his second one after that bounce off the rim. Brown thinking about setting it up, but decides to keep it past half court. Nice move to get around Richardson. He'll leave it for Galani. Galani sending it across to McWader, and he fumbles that one. And it will be Durham's ball. They still remain with possession as they keep forcing turnovers after turnover after turnover. Fahik to Richardson. His foot's inside. That would be a 2-point attempt if it goes in. As you see head coach for Durham, Patrick Kabaya, saying his opinion on the last play as you see him communicate with Fahik.
We're seeing a lot of these risky three-pointers, and they've worked out for Durham so far as they still take a slim lead.
Foul called against Durham. Carter against Textera. And it will be Algonquin who remains with possession. 16 seconds on the shot clock. 8:08 left in the second quarter. 23-19 Durham lead. Not a lot of points in the second quarter so far. Peter Jokai. Galani for 3. Just missed that one. Just a bit off target for Galani as Fahik moves it up. Fahik inside the paint. He lays it in. Whoa, what a play by Fahik, getting around defenders and getting that one there, and it's rejected by Carter at the other end. What a sequence of plays on offense and defense for this Durham Lords squad.
Crazy back and forth here, Seth.
As Fahik knocks down that 3-pointer. Timeout on the court, 28-19. And in the snap of the fingers, like we mentioned, Durham pulling away early in the second quarter, 28-19.
Absolutely, Seth. And you got to wonder what do the Wolves have to do in order to come back from this? We can see them on the interceptions here. They're doing a great job trying to keep Durham on their toes, trying to intercept those long passes. Durham getting a little sloppy, but mostly consistent with their long full court passes here, as they're most often received, but not always. We gotta decide what the Wolves are going to do here in order to counter their aggressive defense and their quick and fast turnovers, as almost like we're watching a tennis match, as our eyes dart from left to right constantly over and over again. 10 seconds remaining on our timeout as the buzzer goes.
As of right now, the Lords are haunting the Wolves on the hardwood. Hopefully the Wolves can find rhythm and find something in their favor, as versus La Cité, they were 43.1% from the field, 33.3% from three, and they're able to get to the free throw line 14 times, so they got to find a way to get something going offensively. They scored 19, yes, but they're falling apart almost on the defensive side, and Durham is not the team you can do that to. They'll take advantage of everything they put down.
Absolutely, you can't give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Intercepted by Smith. Smith slows it down. He'll send it off to Carter. Carter inside. Bullies his way through. Galani able to knock it down for another 2 points for his squad. Galani back to Peter Jokai. Peter Jokai sending it off to Hawkshaw, sorry. Hawkshaw to Texera. Texera here, getting double teamed, cutting inside. Loses it, but regains it. That shot won't count. Foul against Durham. And it will remain Algonquin's ball. As Durham, we talked about how strong and competitive they are. They went to the provincials finals last year, won it. Or this year, earlier this year, won it against Humber. Went to the nationals, played Humber again, but lost it this time. So they're a powerhouse basketball team year in and year out, and they're looking to get back there, as right now they got to get through Algonquin to keep going there. And Algonquin, they got to find a way.
Absolutely, Seth. And like you said, Durham, no stranger to the end of the season, closing on championship status.
As Fahik knocks down that jumper. Peter Jokai moving it up to Hackshaw. Hackshaw getting double teamed there. And that'll be over and back, as Brown will get sub back in for Hawkshaw, as he gets a conversation with the coaching staff from Algonquin, with Trevor Costello. Trevor Costello, 29 years experience coaching this Algonquin's team, and his assistant coach is 23 years, one of his assistant coaches. So a lot of years under the belt in coaching. Fahik sent it inside to Spencer. Fahik remains with it, getting around his defender, Smith. Will travel there as he tries to get around Peter Jokai.
And the Wolves going to keep up that defensive play if they force more travel calls like that, as they keep the layup lanes closed to the Lords.
The Lords not allowing any penetration attempt from this Wolves team, as they're guarding very similar to how we saw the women's play earlier, but you can see what they're doing. They're switching from zone to man, man to zone, and they're double teaming. They're going to the ball, as that three-point attempt falls just short from Wilson Abdul Kadir. Inbounds for Durham as Fahik will move it up. Fahik sending it off.
As that pass goes just a little too wide.
He sent it off to Elliott. Elliott tried to find Richardson, who was alone driving to the key, driving to the hoop, and he's not able to get that pass to fall in his favor as there's a foul called against the Lords. As the Lords leading by 13 points, 32-19 in favor of Durham. Algonquin has to find a way to get more points to drop in their favor. Brown has to find an open teammate. Textera for three. Missing that one. As Elliott, that pass gets deflected, bouncing, and Peter Jokai throws it off. Spencer, and it will be Algonquin's ball. Nice play by Peter Jokai to make sure that his team remains in possession. Brown moving it up. He's gonna shoot from three. And airballs that one, not enough power on their last shot. As we know he usually makes those. As Fahik inside, gets around Peter Jokai. Galani, Textera driving down the lane. Missing that layup attempt once more. Fahik to the lane, drives it in, and that's another two for Durham.
Almost a very rude mimic there. You see, no, that's not how you do a layup, says the Lords. This is how you do it.
Brown missed the last scoring opportunity. Galani not able to receive that one. Fahik with Elliott. Elliott loses it. And it will be Algonquin's ball, but Durham putting a lot of pressure on this Wolves team as Algonquin is forced to call a timeout, Owen.
You got to imagine it's a good time for them to reformulate strategy as they still haven't gotten to 20 points yet in this towards the second half of our second quarter.
And to put in perspective, they scored 17 in the first. So in 5 minutes, they were only able to score 2 points.
2 points.
So Owen, we know that that's not going to win games, right?
Absolutely
when you
not.
get deep in the season, trying to battle it out in February and March, you got to score. You got to score more than 2 points in the first 5 minutes of your quarter. So for them, they got to find ways. They got to find ways to get on the scoring board. Your opinion? What do the Wolves have to do to be able to find some rhythm offensively?
Well, we know that the Lords, love a good three-pointer. The Wolves really got to try and cut off access to those. They got to put the pressure on. They're doing real good. We see at certain points where they're able to pressure them into throwing out these outlets and cutting off these layup lanes. But that is also going to lead them to get desperate and go for the three-pointers, which we've seen the Lords pretty adept at sinking a lot of these three-point shots. Someone leans on the buzzer there.
Do you believe that it starts with their defensive game and how they transition to the offensive side, meaning that's why they're only able to score two?
Well,
would you say so?
Like we say, Seth, as we keep saying throughout any sport, defense wins games and defense will get you to the championship. I think the Wolves really need to just come into their own here as play resumes.
Textera setting it up Peter Jokai. Textera inside to Galani. Galani outside to Textera for three. Missing that one. Galani able to send it off to Peter Jokai. Galani back to Textera. McWader to Galani. Back to McWader. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. McWader for the jumper. Missing that one. Rebound by Spencer. Fahik will take this one after the screen from Smith. Nice pick and roll action. Smith kicks it out. Carter for three. In and out for him. Nice pick and roll action from Durham. They love that play. That's their go-to.
Absolutely right.
Galani inside. Floater this one. And it drops for two. Much needed. 2 points for Algonquin. Fahik inside the paint. Kick it out to Carter. To Elliott for three. Bang!
Very
big triple.
Impressive play there
from
with
Elliott.
the fake out layup, leading to a nice outlet pass. The Wolves just couldn't see that coming, Seth.
Textera to Galani. I agree with what you're saying, Owen, as that ball, Peter Joker has to dive for it, not able to send it inside to Wilson. Abdul Kadir. It will be a turnover as Holder will get set to sub in. He subs on the court for Galani. Elliott, 6'3" guard from Toronto, hitting that last triple for Durham. Fahik. Texera guarding him very closely here. Pick and roll action starting from Durham once again. Fahik moving it across to Spencer. Elliott cuts it inside, gets around the Holder, leaves it. Leaves it for Spencer, and Spencer drops that one in for another 2 for Durham. Abdul Kadir across to Peter Jokai. McGuader missing that 3-point attempt. Fahir, inside pass to Carter. Carter drops in, lays it in for another 2 points, and Durham's over 40 points here, leading by 20 with 2 minutes remaining.
As you got to see, we know that Durham has speed, and we know that they love doing those layups and the three-pointers. Algonquin trying to mimic their style. We're trying to sink those threes.
Holder using his power inside the paint and able to drop that one in on the floater. Fahik controlling it, he picks it up. Elliott with thinking to shoot from 3, and he goes in off the glass. And that will be shot clock violation, so that shot is not going to count. There will be a substitution here as Abdul Kadir is off, and Dwayne Cummings, the forward, 6'1", from Etobicoke, Ontario, is on the court here. Carter from way downtown, boom! Able to knock down another triple for his team. Maybe not as far as I thought it looked like, but able to knock down that triple for Durham.
Still a 3. Any 3 is downtown if you ask me.
McGuader trying to get to Holder. He can't. Texera will take it. Texera picks it up. He'll send it inside to Holder. Holder floats this one and it drops. Another deuce for Holder. As foul called against Durham, Texera subs off Abdul Kadir. Back on the court for the Wolves. .8 seconds left in this second quarter. McGuader to Abdul Kadir for 3 off the rim. Picked up by Spencer. He moves it up to Elliott. Elliott inside the paint. Nice move by him, and he can't finish it. What a move getting inside the paint, but you have to finish. McGuader sends it off to Peter Jokai. Outside to Abdul Kadir for 3 off the rim. And Fahik rebounds this one. 9 seconds remaining. Fahik getting deflected. Givance puts it up. Off the glass, rebounded by Holder. That's halftime. Owen, we're seeing both teams going at it, but 19 points is what separates both of these teams. What can you say so far?
Well, I'm noticing here, Seth, is that the Wolves seem to be going for a lot of these three-pointers, especially Hadik, if I'm getting that name right. Forgive me if I'm not. We see them getting a lot of these plays in and getting deep into the zone. Unfortunately, they keep going for the three-pointer, and I just don't see it happening for them this game, unfortunately. They really got to maybe refocus the strategy into getting into those lanes for an easy layup or even just a two-point shot. Of course, Durham not making it easy for him and keeping in on that speed. And of course, it's got to be a tricky time for the Wolves for sure, as they got to. What do you think? Do you think they're going to keep going for the threes and eventually sink one in, or do you think we'll see them switch up the tactic here?
For Algonquin, they got to switch something up because they were only able to put 25 points. They had 17 in the first quarter. They're only able to put up 8 points in the second quarter, and they only had 2 points in the first 5 minutes. So they got to find a way to get on the offensive side, find some rhythm, find something that works for them. The big thing for them, they're 9 of 33 shots, 27.3% from the field. They're not able to get those shots to fall, and I do believe they got to find better shots, and they got to have better quality shot selection.
And that's exactly right, Seth. I have to agree with you there. They got to find the better shot selection. We'll find that if they get into the paint, if they're able to just maintain possession. Durham, very, very coordinated, very, an aggressive team, a very talented team here, as we're seeing on the court. We have to see from Algonquin is more interception, I think, more control of the ball for sure, and definitely keeping Durham on their toes and keeping them guessing about the play.
Yeah, Durham, 60% from the field, 5 of 10 from 3-point, 1 of 9 for Algonquin from 3-point range, 11%. The big thing I do believe, and we talked about how come Algonquin can't get anything going offensively, there's not that rhythm, there's missing a bit of energy from this offensive side for the Wolves. I do believe it starts on the rebounding game. I apologize for hitting you right there.
That's all right.
But yeah, the rebound game. We talked about it earlier. Algonquin has 9 rebounds, but Durham has 21. So Durham is able to either on the offensive side get those second chance opportunities to put the ball in the basket, or on defense able to transition from D to O. We talked about it a lot earlier. This is very important. Algonquin is not able to get to double digits on that part. So for them, I do believe, I don't know if you would agree, but I do believe that rebounds is the big part.
It would be hard to disagree on that one. The rebound's very important in any basketball game. You want to get the rebound. Any sport really in general, that's really the key, is to get the rebound and really get in there, and especially in the paint. The height of these players for sure, definitely able to do it. We saw a beautiful rebound and dunk. You called it, I believe, a monster jam, monster mash maybe from your list of Halloween puns there, keeping it on theme. I think if we can see more plays like that and they can get the stronger rebound, they can come back in the second and hopefully close the gap here on the scoreboard.
100%, as Durham's leading 44-25 as there's 11 minutes of halftime remaining. Toronto is down big already, third inning, down 3-0 to the LA Dodgers in Game 6. Just to let you guys know, I'm just putting it out there that they're losing right now. So hopefully
don't shoot the messenger, folks. Please don't shoot the messenger.
Hopefully that can switch, but hopefully Algonquin can find something, as well as the Blue Jays, for both of them to win here tonight. I'm Seth Poirier. I'm alongside in the booth with
Owen O'Kelly.
And we'll be back after halftime. Don't go away. Durham, Algonquin, men's basketball. Hi, and welcome back to the Capital Region for the home opener for the Wolves basketball. We had the women's game earlier. They beat Durham. We have the men's game here who are down big against the Lords, 44-25. Owen, halftime was upon us. What do you think was talked about in the Algonquin's locker room going into this second half?
Well, I think they got to start being a little more conservative with their plays here. They got to, like we said before going to the halftime, we had to see them throwing the three-pointers a little less. They're getting, especially from way off to the side of the net that we've seen them. Maybe if they could access a little more forward throwing three-pointers that might yield some success, but I think it's going to come from just getting into the key, getting into the paint, and actually going for those layups and those midfield shots, hopefully avoiding as many fouls as they can to limit the amount of opportunities that the Lords can sink those foul buckets, as we know that they're very skilled at.
And what's the big message? Are we talking about more being fast, being aggressive? What's the big key thing for Algonquin?
I think the key thing is to definitely, fast, I think, is the key. Just to match the speed that the Lords seem to have. They have mastery over it. That we got to get in there as we've last second remaining on our halftime here, and there the buzzer goes. We'll see in 2 seconds right here on the court.
As Algonquin getting set to inbound this one. They're down by 19 to start off the third quarter. Galani inbounding to Brown. Peter Jokai will send it off to Brown. Brown across to Sarah. Galani with the three. Missing off the rim. It's no good there. Galani not able to hit his three-point shots today. He is 0 for 3 today. Texera takes it here. He'll set it off to Peter Jokai inside to Holder. Holder across to Brown. Brown to Texera for the three. Bang! What a shot from Texera.
Much more successful play that we've seen there, Seth. And like I said, if we can get more of those forward-facing threes, we might just be able to turn this one around.
Goes inside. Faik for three himself. He misses off the rim. Peter Jokai moving up to Brown. Brown to Galani. Galani can't handle it. He loses possession there. Right there was a chance for Algonquin to keep pounding it, and they were not able to secure that. It almost looked like they were going a little too fast there.
Indeed, indeed.
As Durham is swinging the ball, Carter knocks it off Brown, and it will be a kickball against Brown. Durham looking to continue their hot streak here. Carter. Carter for the three. He knocks it down from downtown. What a play by Caleb Carter, putting his team up 47-28, 8:30 remaining in the third quarter. Foul called against Durham. Algonquin's got to get something going fast, got to find a rhythm. The tempo's not there right now. They're not able to transition the ball that well, so hopefully here we can see that better transition happening.
Absolutely, Seth. Hopefully we can get a more aggressive offense here, like I said, in the key, getting close in the paint.
Inside the Holder, and it's rejected at the rim.
It's real unfortunate.
By Chambers, but it will be a foul called against Rashawn Chambers. And Haven Holder, the forward from Ottawa, Ontario, attempting the free throws here as he misses his first one. Holder was 2 for 2 until this moment here. 2 for 3, looking to make it 3 of 4. Holder missing the second shot as Elliott moving the ball up here. Sending it across to Smith at the free throw line, and he knocks it down off the rim, off the glass. Another 2 for Durham as they're approaching the 50-point mark. Brown, Peter Jokai. Inside to Galani. Galani alone. Able to knock it down off the glass, making the game back to 19. Double team by Algonquin. Fahik sending it across to Carter. Carter inside to Smith. Smith sending it inside. It will be a foul call against Galani. Wasn't able to be set and be in the right position.
And that's what we're seeing here today, Seth. We want the Wolves to be able to match that defense, that defensive energy, as they just barely enter their 30-point mark. Nearly a 20-point gap between the Lords and the Wolves today, and that will bring it up 50-30 for the Durham Lords.
Smith knocking down both free throws as he's 3 for 3 on the night. Brown, Peter Jokai gets picked off by Fahik. Fahik not able to get it to Elliott. And that will be a turnover. Algonquin will take over. Peter Jokai to Brown here. Brown. And that's a bad pass by Peter Jokai. Algonquin are not playing the type of basketball that we've seen them play in recent years. And right there, a couple mistakes, and Durham can run away with it. So
absolutely,
Algonquin's got to find a way, Owen, to get themselves back in this one. As that one gets picked off by Texter, he's running down with Galani on his right. Galani puts it up, rejected at the rim by Fahik, but Brown puts it in.
Terrific rebound. As we said, the rebounds are going to be the key to scoring here. And a great block from 31.
Holder deflecting that one out of bounds. Smith inside to Spencer. That will be a foul. Galani once again on that foul there, Owen.
And you got to know that they're disappointed in that, because they really need to limit the amount of fouls.
Elliott thought about shooting that one. We'll send it back to Fahik. Back to Elliott. Inside to Spencer, and it gets blocked by Brown. Spencer goes up once again. Will be a foul call against Holder.
As you can see, that indecisiveness for Elliott, as he saw, he was about to shoot past it, passed back to him. He was about to shoot, and he ran for it. You can see, and you can see the small movements where he wasn't sure if he made the right call there.
As you see, Trevor Costello trying to get an explanation from the official there, as Spencer, the 6'5" forward from Scarborough, knocks down his first one. And he knocks down the second free throw. As Galani and Brown exchanging passes. Galani try to go bounce pass to Peter Jokai. Brown to Texera. He loses it but regains it. Galani inside to Holder. Holder missing that one, getting it back, his rebound, getting it again, putting it back up, missing it again. Getting his own rebound, but missing it, Owen.
Rebound city here, Seth.
As Carter can't receive that pass from Fahik, and it will be a turnover. As Algonquin, 12 is 37 from the field, 32.4% and 20% from the three-point line. Inside to Galani. Galani, nice pass to Peter Jokai. He'll put it up. It will be a travel call as there will be a substitution here as Rashawn Chambers on the court for Rasheen Smith. Fahik to Elliott, back to Fahik, Fahik to Carter, Carter for three. In and out, and Fahik can't put his layup back up to fall, and there will be another trip awarded to the free throw line as Durham is 7 of 7 from the line, looking to make it 9 of 9. As Fahik, 16 points, 3 of 3 from the free throw line as he looks to keep getting this score to be going up here as they're leading by 21 as he makes his first one on.
And that's unfortunate there for the Wolves, as this deficit looks harder and harder to close. 54-32.
Brown moving up with speed, double team by Spencer and Fahik. Textera to Peter Jokai. Not too sure where that pass was heading. Almost looked like he was trying to set up an alley-oop there, but Peter Jokai not even in the area to receive that pass. Algonquin, man, they got to find a way out because right now they're playing in a ghost mode. They got to find their way out of it because right now their offense is nowhere to be found. 3-point from Spencer off the rim. Texera pushing it up to Brown. Brown inside, loses it, regains it. Peter Jokai receives it, back to Brown. Brown, 3-point attempt is missed as Spencer to Fahik for 3. He decides to step it inside, outside the key here. Rebound by Galani, pushing it up is Brown. Texera coming inside the key, fade away, jumper, missing now one. Galani with the rebound. Peter Jokai, Brown gets it here. Inside to Galani. Texera from 3. Bang! Another triple for Texera as he adds his points here tonight.
Making it a fair percentage of the points we've seen for the Wolves this quarter alone, Seth.
Galani deflects that one, steals it. Galani has 3 steals last week's win against La Cité, gets one here tonight. Peter Jokai from deep. He misses that one, in and out. As Fahik moving up for Durham. Fahik to Spencer. Spencer leaving it for Chambers, and he misplays that one as Carter off for Durham as Richardson in for the Lords. McGuater, Hackshaw, and Gustave Mbuwamba in for Algonquin as there was a 3-pointer down for Durham there. Galani getting trapped. He has to get it off to Hawkshaw. Hawkshaw will be a violation. Durham forces Algonquin to turn it over. Timeout on the court. Owen, we will be right back with the rest of the third quarter as we take a quick break. And we're back here after the timeout. 57-35, Durham lead as we're in the bottom of the fourth in Game 6 of the World Series. Blue Jays were able to get a run, so it's 3-1 right now, Owen. Fourth inning.
That's
So
looking good for us, Seth.
hopefully we can get more scoring from the Blue Jays as it is bottom of the fourth. The Blue Jays have a man on second base as Smith back in the game for Durham. He puts this one in. Richardson sends it over to Elliott. Elliott, nice pass inside to Spencer. Will be a foul against the Wolves as that's James Capello, the 6'8" forward. From Ottawa, Ontario, he will be the one who gets that foul there. And Durham back to the line. Spencer. Getting his second attempt here. Makes it. And Spencer gets his team to 58. Hawkshaw sending it over to Mbawamba. Across to Abdul Kadir, who misses that three-point attempt. Abdul Kadir once again cutting inside the key. Smith is there. Smith will steal it. Force Algonquin to a turnover, and will be Durham's ball. And so far, Durham's been looking very, very consistent defensively, not crashing down. They're not allowing a lot of those open areas for Algonquin to dish the ball off and move the ball up court.
Yeah, very hard to disagree with you there, Seth. It's looking like Durham's really got their defense on lock. Algonquin really has to look for a way around it. If they can ever catch a rebound to get on the offensive. And there we go. Very serendipitous, as I said it.
Fahir playing great defense on Hawkshaw. Hawkshaw travel on that one.
Unfortunate play, but like we said, Durham really not giving an inch, keeping that pressure on. You see that good defense. They're not worried about having that 23-point lead. They're going to keep it by keeping that pressure on.
Number 5, Arian Arafaga in the game for the Wolves. As Richardson knocks down that jumper. And now Durham up by 25, and they hit 60 points in this one, Owen. As they had 72 against Seneca, and 82 against Fleming. As Fahik running down the lane. Boom! He lays it down. And he keeps putting points up for this squad. He's a big reason that this Durham squad is leading here. As Elliott down the lane, he puts it up.
You gotta wonder here is that the Wolves getting frustrations gotta be growing within the Wolves as they struggle to find a way around that aggressive offense from Durham.
And that one goes, and Algonquin, number 15, Wilson Abdul Kadir, moving it up. There's no one in position, so Abdul Kadir manages it. Across to James Capello. He misplays that one. It will remain Algonquin's ball as Mbuyamba will take it up and will dish it off to Abdul Kadir. Abdul Kadir with 4 seconds left will have to heave it up from way downtown. Off the glass, rebound by Spencer. Richardson to Fahik. Inside to Richardson. To Spencer, sorry. Elliott to Fahik. Fahik inside the paint. Spins around, gives it to Richardson. Richardson with 8 seconds left. To Fahik. Fahik inside the paint. Back to Spencer. Spencer lays it in. What a layup. And what a play distribution, that ball movement.
Absolutely.
Especially from the guys that didn't have the ball moving around.
Right, of course. Not letting the shot clock get to them, not blocking it out entirely, taking their time as much as they're allowed.
And Smith lays it in after the miss, and it will be a timeout. Algonquin, 46.4 seconds left in the third quarter. 69-35, Durham lead. We will be right back. Owen O'Kelly, I'm Seth Poirier. Owen, there's got to be a little bit more rhythm going here. We've got to find something that works for them, as you know, we talked about take care of the basketball. 14 turnovers for Algonquin, not taking care of the ball, turning over a lot, and those balls are not finding the people that they need to be finding, so they got to be able to find those open areas, as Durham is playing a 3-1-1 zone almost right now, and they're transitioning left to right as Algonquin has to heap it up and do these long football-type passes, and that's not what you want. So they got to find a way to regroup, find ways to get through this Durham's defense. That Durham's playing a great job defensively, an incredible job. But Algonquin's got to find a way to get through this zone defense, because a lot of teams in the OCAA, in the East, in the West, they play zone. They go man zone. They play differently. They play full court, half court. You got to find a way to get through these zones really fast, or else the season will be very long.
Absolutely. As they go for that shot clock beater, not exactly sinking with that air ball. Durham will have possession as we approach 20 seconds left in our third quarter of tonight's match.
No shot clock, under 10 seconds. Elliott to Richardson, back to Elliott. Across to Fahik. Fahik inside the paint, outside to Elliott. He goes in, he'll lay it up. Buzzer goes off, he can't get that one to fall. We go to the fourth quarter, 69-35, Durham leads. Durham, 26 of 43, 60% from the field. Algonquin, 30.2%, 13 of 43. 3-point shots, 3 of 15 for Algonquin, 20%, 7 of 15. Durham, 46.7%. You know, we talk about turnovers, we talk about rebounds. Durham still leading by 11 in the rebound category, so, you know, they're plus 11. Algonquin right here, this fourth quarter is big. You know, they're down
34 points.
34 points. I was trying to do the math, and that's why I got you right.
You already got it in my head, man.
But we will be right back after this third quarter break here. We're going to the fourth quarter. Durham leading over the Wolves by 34 points. Owen O'Kelly, I'm Seth Poirier. We'll be back after this minute. And the fourth quarter is upon us as we're seeing Jahidi Webster for the first time for the Wolves on the court, as well as Dwayne Cummings. Elliott moving it up, giving it to Généreux. Généreux back to Elliott. Elliott controlling traffic. Three-point shot by Richardson, missing wide right off the glass. And Buamba down the lane, coast to coast. He drains it.
And that's the sort of play we need to see. I think if the Wolves can get some more of that, they can close that gap. Terrific rebound from number 4. I'm glad to see the Wolves haven't lost some of that fire. We've seen this fast-paced game go coast to coast, as we've been saying, Seth, and it's good to see, even though in the fourth quarter, still at the top of the fourth quarter, admittedly, it still works fast.
Elliott, nice Euro step around Mbuamba, able to knock that one down. 71-37, under 9 minutes to go here. Elliott defending. Arefaga, sorry. As it will be inbounds for Algonquin. Cummings will inbound it. He'll have to throw it in, and it gets picked off by Elliott, who sets it up to Généreux. Généreux lays it in. Great job by Elliott once again, finding his open teammate as Généreux lays it in for his squad. As Durham is putting on a show here in the Capital Region. That ball gets picked off once again. Elliott down the lane. He goes. Bang! Boom! And just like that, Elliott is making us call the Ghostbusters right here. As Elliott knocks that one down and Richardson steals it. He goes. Tried to go in for
Number 4 not letting that one go up. Not at all.
Mbuamba able to knock that one out. But what a play by Elliott. These 4 last possessions for Durham involved getting those assists and able to get that dunk here, that breakaway dunk to put his team up by a lot.
Absolutely, Seth. Now Wolves still got to focus here as they keep letting those interceptions taken too far by the Lords.
That ball gets saved by Spencer. Richardson sends it to Elliott. Elliott moves up past half court. Généreux to Richardson for 3. Bang! Another triple for Richardson. As Richardson is 2 for 3 on the night on the triple. As that pass is not what you want from McWader, sending it to Hackshaw. Durham takes over here, and they're looking to put their 80th point on the night with 7:30 remaining, and the clock's not going here as it started now. Elliott decided to, from 3, goes inside the paint, sends it off to Généreux, who saves it from going out of bounds. Richardson drives inside the lane, puts it up, and 80 points for the Lords for the second time this year. They're able to get to 37, 7 minutes remaining. McGuader inside to Galani. Galani inside the paint, puts it up, and puts it up again. And the hard, aggressive layup attempt is good for Galani. 39 points, Algonquin here, as Elliott looking to keep things going and rolling for his squad. Richardson asking for the screen from Smith. Pick and roll action here. Richardson inside. And that's good again for Durham as that mid-range jumper falls, and that pass from McGuader to Galani does not work once again, as that pass is not on the right page with these players. I don't know what it is, but it looks like every time there's the ball and trying to get those long passes going, it looks like either it's too far or it's not the right decision to go for that.
You gotta wonder if the team's morale is taking a beating here, being so far down. Almost a 50-point deficit. Wolves really got to find their footing here in hopes of recovering some of their morale for this game.
McGuater double teamed here by Fahik and Généreux. That will be whistle against Durham. Peter Jokai will inbound it. McGuater for three. Misses it off the rim here. As Hawkshaw able to get it here. And Holder falls off the ground, on the ground as well. Spencer, last one to touch that ball as we're hitting the 6-minute mark. And Algonquin down by 43. McGuater inside to Holder, not able to get there. Smith catches that one. Généreux pulls up from three. Bang! Once again, Durham putting on the show from downtown. 8 of 16 on the night for the Lords. As Peter Jokai outside to McGuater from three. Misses this one. Spencer to Fahik. Fahik moving it up. Inside to Smith. Smith pulling it away inside. And it's going to get whistled. Called against Holder. As Durham is sent to the free throw line. Once again, 10 of 12 on the night. Holder subs off as James Capello is on the court for the Wolves. Smith at the line for the Lords here, as he has 8 points on the night. His third trip to the line. Missed both of them. Capello rebounds this one. Hawkshaw spin moves around Fahik. Down the lane. Puts it up. Boom! What a play by Hawkshaw. What a way to go coast to coast.
You got to wonder with a play like that, it's a wonder why they are down 85 to 41. A total 44 points when they can pull off moves like that, Seth.
Richardson outside the three-point line. Tries to bounce it inside to Spencer, and Hawkshaw loses possession there, turns it over. And Durham will remain with possession as Jahidi Webster on the court for Galini. Gulani on the bench once again for the Wolves. Webster, 6'2" forward from Ottawa, on the court for Algonquin. Switch happening here. Généreux inside the paint, puts it up, off the glass, misses it off the rim. Spencer gets that rebound. Hawkshaw saves it from out of bounds. Capello gives off to Peter Jokai. Peter Jokai around Smith. Inside the lane, puts it up. Foul is called against Smith. Trip to the free throw line for Algonquin. As Shavante Givance subs on the court for Smith. Peter Jokai. First one is good. One more shot here for Peter Jokai. Peter Jokai is 3 of 4 from the line here. Very good on the free throw. Didn't get to the line much against La Cité. Able to get there 2 times today. As there will be a foul called against Hawkshaw as Richardson tried to drive through, got tangled up with Richardson. Inbound play here for Durham. Let's see what type of play they have as they lined up in the square. They get off of it. Fahik, guarded by Peter Jokai. Fahik drives inside, spins around. Richardson from 3. Misses that one. Capello rebound. And Algonquin's driving through Hawkshaw. Loses it, regains it, out of bounds. Durham's ball. That's opportunity missed as Algonquin had a chance. They had multiple players down court and he can't finish it off.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, Seth, as we approach less than 4 minutes left in the final quarter of our match tonight.
Fahik to Richardson. Richardson, nice move for 3. In and out. What a move, what a shot by Richardson, but misses that one. McGuader going down the court here. In and out. Peter Jokai back to McGuader. McGuader, spin move outside to Webster for 3. In and out, him also. Capello saves it. Hackshaw, Capello's there. And it will be a foul on Durham. As Hawkshaw gets to the line. Hawkshaw, first trip to the line here today, 4 points on the night. He's getting set to knock this one in. Gets the first one to fall. Couple bounces. And he's good. 2 for 2 for his first trip to the line. Genereux moves it up past half court. Genereux, nice cross inside, lays it in and almost off the rim and it goes. Nice move by Genereux. McGuader picks it up from Webster. Nice move by him, trying to get around Genereux. He does, nice spin inside. He lays it in and not able to get it in the hoop there, but what a move, Owen, by McGuader.
Yeah, absolutely, Seth. We got to see they still have the drive. They still have that determination in them. I think what I've said earlier still stands. They have lost a little bit of morale, and that's led to them letting a lot more baskets slip through than they would have liked. But they're keeping that drive going, and they're going to keep it going all the way to the end.
Hawkshaw getting around Genereux. Inside to Webster. Webster getting around Spencer. He makes him jump, and he's good for that one. Able to get another 2 points there. Bounce pass, trying to get it to Javance. Not able to, and Hawkshaw takes it up. From mid-range, he pulls up, and it's good. Jumper from Hawkshaw. Good as we hit 48 points for Algonquin. 49, sorry. Fahik to Genereux. Genereux, couple bounces, foot's inside, it would have counted, it would have been a 2. As that ball keeps bouncing around, that ball stays in. Fahik to Spencer. Back to Fahik. Fahik had room, decides to give to Genereux. Inside to Javance. Capello takes this. Inside to Hawkshaw. Hawkshaw lays it in and can't make this one fall once again. Fahik stopping the play here. Inside to Spencer. Spencer, nice jelly move, lays it in, and he can't make it finish. But foul against Capello, and he's back to the line. Spencer, 3 for 4 on the day, looking to make that 6. 5 of 6. As Spencer misses his first one. He misses both as he goes 3 of 6 on the night. Hawkshaw inside, he lays it in and one. Hawkshaw getting a bit of offense going for his squad as he gets his 8th point of the night. Sorry, his 10th point of the night. And Hawkshaw able to get his 11th if he's able to get this free throw to fall. And he misses off the inside rim. Webster puts it up, and he's good on that one. Webster able to get his first 2 points.
As we see the nice rebounds, we close off in the last 45 seconds of the last quarter. Wolves still determined to make something happen. Not exactly sure where that pass was going as that flies out. No one to receive it. Again, a little bit of a lack of coordination on the Wolves side. Can attribute that to the brand new roster.
And it's rejected at the rim by Shavante Givance. 6'4" forward from Rexdale, Ontario, rejected that one to the rim. As shot clock is off, 22 seconds here, and Durham will cross half court and let the time go down as they win this one, 85-53, and they ruin the Halloween home opener for the Wolves as the Wolves lose big here, as they were able to get 80 points for the second time this year. 85-53 is their final score, as we're looking for tomorrow here, as Algonquin has another game tomorrow against Fleming. But what a game for Durham. That shows you how well they are, because, you know, we talked about it. They're a top team in Ontario, but they're also a top team in the country.
Absolutely.
You know, they won versus Humber last year in OCAA finals. Then they play Humber again in the CCAA finals. They lose that one 76-70, but they're a strong team. From what I watched today, Durham, they can play great offensively, they can play great defensively. Their transition game is amazing. They're able to move the ball and get the ball going to where it needs to be, and they're able to force turnovers, and the way they play their defense, incredible. They move to zone, to man, they shift side to side. It's incredible to see.
Exactly how you're saying, Seth. It's really plain to see. It's no question how they were able to make it to the OCAA championships last year and even make it to nationals. Very upsetting game here for the Wolves today, but a pretty decent scorecard for both teams here, especially breaching 80. Like you said, it was only a few times Durham's able to breach 80 in the last few seasons or so. Very impressive stride from both teams, and you know, attributing that lack of coordination that we've seen to the brand new roster that we've seen. I think you said 90% new players on the Wolves roster on the men's team today. You got to attribute that to the lack of coordination that we see on the court, and especially in the paint and in the key. Like you said, rebounds seem to have been working for them, and unfortunately Durham understands the assignment there as well, taking as many shots as they can. Algonquin still cooling it with the 3-pointers. We see them go in for more layups and more easy shots there, but still unable to close that wide gap on the scoreboard.
Textera, 16 points. Hawkshaw finished very late. He had a lot of points in the fourth quarter, finished with 10. Those two players were able to get things going, but Textera had a couple big shots, but wasn't able to do enough to help his team get the victory here today. Carter, 13 points. Richardson, 12. Elliott, 15. And Fahik, 19 points. So 4 players with double-digit scoring for Durham. Those 4 players are the reason Durham is the 85-53 team that they are. Durham is a great team. They play the game very great. But now if we talk about Algonquin, you know, the rhythm was not there.
No,
there's no fire there for them tonight.
It simply wasn't. And you could see it there. I mentioned it a few times there. The last quarter, it seemed their morale went way down. Definitely kept it up. And even though they're on the loss for the majority of this game, you could see the morale was still there up until after the third quarter and the fourth. They really just lose their footing, and they really just keeping it low key there for sure.
And they were missing offense. They weren't able to get much going. We talked about it, second quarter in the first 5 minutes, they only scored 1 bucket. They got to find a way to get the offensive rhythm, get going. It didn't feel like today there was, especially late. It was, you saw some sparks of that offense, but it was too late. So they got to find some way, somehow, something to get going offensively so they can score more, because they scored 80 against La Cité, but they weren't able to get 60 here tonight, and they had to work hard for their points. So they'll have a big week of practice next week, but they can't go too fast because tomorrow they play Fleming, so they got to be ready for that as Durham beat Fleming 82-80. So it's going to be a great game to see Algonquin come back and see how great they can bounce back from this loss here against Durham. Just before we get off, 3-1, bottom of the 6th, Blue Jays still trailing. So after you get off this game here, go tune in and see if the Blue Jays can get it done in the World Series here tonight.
They need our support more than ever today. Can't think of anything scarier than a Dodgers win tonight.
And Owen, great game here today. We have the women's, now we have the men's. Tomorrow, like I mentioned, Fleming. You won't be here, I'll be with Lucas, but it was a great day to be here with you today. Owen, still always a pleasure every time we're in the booth together. But Durham, they went trick-or-treating. They stole all the candy from Algonquin. I'm Seth Poirier. I'm alongside
Owen O'Kelly. Pleasure to be here, Seth.
And we will be with you guys tomorrow when Algonquin men's basketball, 1 game tomorrow, plays Fleming. See you guys tomorrow, and go Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays.